Oh, yes, everyone. Everything that I've been through the last couple of years is in it. It was put together as kind of, let's talk about it, because things, as I say, are getting really interesting. I did do a show in 2002. It was kind of after 9/11. That was a response to that. And it was about 8 years. Yeah, but coming back was great. It is interesting. It kind of, Chris Rock says it's like being a prize fighter. You got to get ready, and you got to be physically ready and emotionally ready, and obviously, intellectually and psychologically ready to get out and get in front of people and do do what you do. The great news is if it works well, great. If it doesn't, not so good. The metaphors are you killed or you die. So those are the two. Sometimes, yeah, Oliver Sacks says it's like voluntary Tourette's. No, I mean, you do have things kind of in the back of your mind, but sometimes you'll get like broken field running where there'll be an opportunity to talk about something, and you'll go off on it. I mean, occasionally somebody will say something, or there'll be something new, and you'll find, a new idea. But yeah, there is behind it, there's thought and preparation, and ideas to say, okay, but you work them out on stage. You find out pretty quickly what works or what doesn't work. And sometimes the thing is to take the courage to say, this may not be working here, but hold on, it might be working later on. Like the idea of I tried it once on stage of Mort Saul. I talked to him today, and he was talking about America as a country looks like it's going to go into rehab soon. And I thought there'd be a rehab for call it empires. Where, you come in, hello, feeling like you used to be top of the world, somewhat not empowered anymore, powerless, really? Come on in. Come on, don't be afraid. These are the French. Hello, we once were little, but now we win the Melbourne Cup, and we try to do all this crazy thing, and now we make great food. The Italians, va bene, tutto bene. The Russians, tantesque. We are working slowly through all of our problems. Hello! Used to have everything. Now we're just basically horribly literate, incredibly intellectual and bitter about certain things, but moving on, moving through. God bless us all. No. As an alcoholic, I talk about, some warning signs, like DUIs in a cul-de-sac, things like that. The idea of, have you been through it, to talk about it and see, this is what you go through. Heart surgery, alcoholism. I went to rehab in wine country just to keep my options open. And the idea of, these are things you got to talk about. Yes, that's like Gandhi owning a delicatessen. What are you doing? This is not for my consumption. Yes. I was in a little town in Alaska. It wasn't the end of the world, but you can see it from there. And it was like all of a sudden I thought, I could drink. It's also that same thought you have if you look off a large building and go, I can fly. And within a week it was like, gone, And now, I realize I can't. So that was the gift, I don't vividly remember anything from that. It's like there is this thing for alcoholics called a blackout, which isn't really a blackout. It's more like sleepwalking with activities. And I believe it's your conscience going into a witness protection program going, you're about to have sex with a hobbit. I've got to go now. Good luck. I'm checking out. I'm leaving the body on, but we're not going to remember anything. Good luck to you. Take care. And you're off,
Yes.
You're off and running. And then the alcohol kicked in and decided, and then eventually you realized, I can't. I remember stopping it on my own because I was about to have a son. And I didn't want to be coked up going, hey, Dad loves you. Here's a little switch. I'm going to throw up on you. You don't want to be like that. And I had to kind of go, but I did it alone. So that was why it was, 20 years without any help. I think I did it because it would actually allow me not to talk. It was like, reverse medication. Why they give Ritalin to hyperactive children is that idea of kind of, oh, okay, I don't have to talk to people. It just kind of shuts you down, which is a, word self-medication. And that, but more importantly, my son. I think that was the beginning of kind of, thinking outside the box of you've got a responsibility, and it's more than you. Not hard once you go to rehab. I mean, rehab is, that's the beginning of kind of, the idea is you got to surrender. You got to just say, I can't do it. Because, I went to rehab with a lot of doctors and psychiatrists. And the more intelligent you think you are, the harder it is to let go. You think, I've got a solution. I'll just drink a little bit. It's like saying, I'll just partially circumcise myself. I'll be fine. And then you have to go, nope, you lose. You can't do it. You need help. And at that point, that's the beginning. And then, once you do that, you're out and run. It forces you to deal with fear and the idea of putting yourself out there. And the acting is more like going within and finding all the different parts of, a character. And especially when you're playing really dark, strange characters like in 1 Hour Photo, where you get to explore behavior that you do prison time for. It's that idea of you're playing a killer, really. And part of your brain's going, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, and that's the joy of acting, where you get to explore all sorts of different, all those, aspects of human behavior. And then you could take that back to the comedy in terms of the concentration. So they feed each other. They're symbiotic. Oh, he's the best.
Dad, did you sign those papers? Did you sign the papers? We need the house, Daddy. Did you sign the papers? Are these the ones? Huh? That's it, but you signed it upside down again. I still love you.
He's a wonderful friend, and he just had heart surgery, and he's doing great. He had 2 stents put in, and I called him. I said, John, how are you? I had an operation performed by Japanese surgeons. It was cheaper, but I told them I was in the war. They weren't pleased. And whenever I talk to him, it's really wonderful. He's the best. He's, for me, he's the Buddha. He is the teacher, very powerful influence. Here's a weird thing. I got to, Marlon Brando taught an acting class, very briefly, and I got to take it. I mean, he said, if you come in here, it's going to be crazy. I don't know what I'll say because you'll have me laughing so much. At one point, his dog was basically licking his ass. He went, wouldn't that be great behavior to see on a film? I went, wow, if you're that flexible, way to go. But it's, of the actors I've worked with, Max von Sydow, Walter Matthau, all of them. It's been great, I mean, you just walk away from the experience. I mean, the boys in Good Will Hunting, and they are boys. I mean, both of them, Matt and Ben. It was an incredible experience. And you walk away, there's been no movie that I've walked away from, even the ones that didn't do well, where you don't go, I learned a lot. God, one of the greatest experiences. It was incredible. It was the true learning experience, because Peter's more than a director. He's a teacher. I don't know anybody who's worked with him that comes away going, well, that was nice. You come away a different person. He infuses you, like when we were doing that movie, he gave us poetry, he gave us music. He'd play music during takes that would just get you into this incredible spirit and very inspiring. I remember when the boys stood on their desk, I was going, this is very powerful. And I looked over and I saw a Teamster crying, and I went, okay, this is really working. We can't ravel this crazy. I don't know why. The boys on the desk is giving me crazy.
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson. You hear me? Sit down. Sit down. This is your final warning, Anderson. How dare you?
But it was, this inspirational movie where it's the first time I did a film where people were touched beyond the movie, where they want to change their lives. And I hope for the better. Many people said they became teachers. I went, oh, good luck. Especially picking that profession in America where that's going to be you have to be dedicated to be that. I don't know. You'll find it when you do. You'll know the moment you do it. And I don't want to explore that most of the time. There'll be things where you might get someone, you'll say something and people go, oh, and you go, you don't want to really, I'm not out to, to attack people in that sense, but you want to talk about things, but sometimes there will be people offended or hurt by it, and you will go, okay, I've said it, and you have to go in the process of doing comedy. Not everyone will find it funny. Yes, I did, and that was by accident. It was weird. I was trying to talk about, the Australian accent and saying it's a combination of English, and I used the word redneck, and I went, oh, and then the moment I went, okay, good old boy, or you can say Welsh samurai. But the idea that all of a sudden I offended the Prime Minister of Australia, and the next day he offended the governor of Alabama when he said perhaps Mr. Williams should spend some time in Alabama before he calls someone a redneck. Cut to the governor of Alabama saying perhaps the Prime Minister should spend some time in Alabama before he realizes that we're, decent, hardworking people. Now I've created a linguistic war between two accents that people are going to have trouble on. I'll tell you right now. No, right now. Let me tell you right now. No, coming after you. And meanwhile, a Navajo code talker is going, I will talk to them to try and bring them back to a place of peace. Kevin he meant no offense. It was mainly linguistic. I know, he's going away.
Well, he's still around.
He's still around.
He's foreign minister.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. Good job, Kev. Susan Boyle.
Rob?
Susan Boyle on ice. No. People said, when they said that who would play her in the movie, they went, me. I went, oh, no, please. That's taking Mrs. Doubtfire way too far. I don't know what's left to do. I'm doing a play on Broadway in the spring, so that'll be interesting. It's a very weird piece called The Bengal Tiger in the Baghdad Zoo. That'll be a discipline. That'll be 8 shows a week. A really interesting play, kind of talking about the war in Iraq and about pretty much everything. It's a bit like Godot in Iraq, which sounds like, what? But I think it's not an easy play, but I don't do things easy. Good. The heart is good. The bovine valve works. It's nice. I give a great quart of cream. People go, what does that mean? Stop. Naughty and nice. Don't go there.
Robin Williams, thanks very much.
You're welcome, boss. Thanks.